Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Today, we're going to be looking at open world structuring for this so-called new Batman game. But we're going to be, pulling and interpolating from old stuff. That is, things from the other Arkham games, which kind of made them special. And we're going to see if maybe there might be some reason to use this same kind of pattern that's been used in the past Arkham games for this new Warner Brothers Batman game. Now, the news and all the, the windmill around this game, let me put it that way, is absolutely quiet right now. Nobody's talking about this because everyone's just waiting for a big announcement. But I feel like it's still pretty important to players around the world who are fans to continue to discuss these things and kind of continue to set our expectations, maybe even low or realistic or maybe super high. The whole process is just interesting. So the Arkham games so far, Arkham City, Arkham Asylum, Arkham Knight, Arkham Origins, are all semi-open worlds. I mean, in terms of semi-open worlds, they are structured and directed in a specific way. They have a few things like, that are procedurally generated. And when I say procedurally generated, I mean more like NPCs in a sense, in terms of Arkham Knight, Arkham Origins, maybe even some Arkham Asylum. Maybe, you're gliding across the open world. You see some thugs. You can go engage in battle. If you have to solve a Riddler puzzle that's in a building, you go into that building, you work with that building. Or if you have a mission that's in a location, you can go into some locations. Some locations you can't go into, if you understand what I mean. And so the world was a little bit more, in a sense, limited. It limited you, and that was a good thing, to be very honest, especially when you're doing your Riddler trophies and all those things. It made a whole lot of sense to be able to limit players from what they could do and what they should be doing. Now, bring this to maybe, say, a new game. And if you look at a lot of the so-called leaks and whispers in terms of what the game developers have been working on, there was this one leak that said that the world of this so-called new Batman game was going to be as big as Red Dead Redemption's open world. Now, I don't know if that's actually true, because Red Dead Redemption has a stupid big world. That's how I'm going to put it. It's just that big, and in some cases can lose a lot of people in its immersion. But some people love and some people enjoy that and the freedom. I'm the person who I'm very objective based. That's why I think I like the Batman games. They don't allow for too much of veering off the beating path. You could do that, but you'll find out that as you're doing that, you're not necessarily going to be enjoying the game. In fact, you enjoy the game much more if you stick with, fulfilling the objectives and the parameters that you're set within. So that's what I really enjoy as a player. And I feel like a lot of other Batman, Arkham game players enjoyed this. So with the new Batman Arkham game, I think with the way the world is designed and the way they want this game to be, the co-op level or the multiplayer aspect might influence how we see the world come to life. The world might be a world that is constantly regenerated, a world that constantly, allows for more activity, so that, like the job description for the community manager said, we want, a community manager for this so-called game is supposed to make, connections with players, to want them to log in every day. And anything that will make players log in every day, in my opinion, has to be some kind of, slight MMO style game that has a consistently thriving or heart-beating open world with new things happening all the time. Maybe this is what we're going to see. Now, how has this been done in different games? Take, for instance, GTA. There are all kinds of fun stuff that, goes on within the game. The game continues to thrive. You can go in there. You can do all kinds of stuff like, when you're playing GTA Online or Red Dead Redemption 2 Online or games like Destiny, The Division. Now, these games are more like shooter games, and, we're not talking maybe DC Universe Online level right now, but these games, have something about their open world that keeps them alive. Enemies constantly spawning, events happening, and all of that. Now, don't cringe yet, because I know some people might cringe and say, oh, I don't think I want all this stuff in a Batman game. But we have not necessarily seen anything like this in a Batman game. And so the iteration in a Batman game will look very different from a game, say, like Destiny or The Division 2 or any other MMO style game out there. Not saying this Batman is going to be an MMO. I hope not. But I think it will have some of these aspects that keep a thriving, continuing world. And I think this is what it is. Now, the world may not necessarily be open in a sense that, you can just run on the streets or drive on the streets or fly on the streets. There were rumors about the Batwing too. That might be a way to travel across the world. That might be a way to traverse the world, but I don't know how that's going to show itself. It might be where missions, become things or become areas where you can go into and take on, tougher and more challenging NPCs or archetypes of, mission structures to gain maybe more rewards, maybe to gain skins, to gain, XP, to continue to deal with the world of this kind as they continue to add more story missions, maybe more characters, maybe more challenges over time. Because if you look at today's day and age, I don't think they want to release this game as kind of a platformer, like, just for a game to be released one and done. I think they want to release a game that is a universe, and they don't want it to be, the DC universe type game, but something that has a big part of the regular Arkham games, which would be your single player, which would be your directed objective based game, and then your, free to play type, sandbox. I shouldn't say free to play. Your sandbox world where people can run around and people can do all kinds of stuff. And that merger is going to be very new to fans. And I'm hoping that they actually do the merger very well, because if the merger lands very well, you're going to get the enjoyability. And one thing also that probably a lot of people have not necessarily taken into account is the number of people who have beaten, the Arkham games, done everything, completed every trophy, every mission 4 times on all their save files are actually very few. Myself included. I've played, all the Arkham games and I've beaten them, but there's only one Arkham game where I've actually done all the Riddler trophies, and I haven't even done all the combat maps, all the Predator maps, and all the challenge maps. And so what that tells you is, if you even look at yourself, or if you're a listener of this video, you've probably done this. But if I had to take a poll and say how many of you have beaten, Batman games 100%, we're going to see a very, very low number, which tells us that there's something about replayability that, many of these kinds of games they don't have as an appeal for a general audience, except for a small audience. But if you want to get replayability out there, you have to create a sandbox that constantly, builds itself back up. And I think that's what this game is going to thrive to do. So it's going to be interesting, like I've said, to see what they have in store. I don't think we're going to have the same structure-like gameplay that we had from Arkham Asylum all the way through Arkham Origins. I think there's going to be some fluid, world dynamics that is going to change everything. And, however it lands, I think we're going to embrace it with open arms, because at this point, Batman fans are just at a loss for how long this franchise has gone without actually revealing anything concrete. And so maybe it's these decisions that delayed the game so well, because they were coming out of a box that they had put themselves in. Arkham Asylum, you're just one area of a map, one big huge map on an island that you have to deal with. Then you have Arkham City, which is just pretty much one relegated area. Then you have Arkham Origins, which is Gotham, but different segments of Gotham, but still controlled, but still leveled. I think Arkham Origins was so well done. You go take care of the Penguin in like some kind of abandoned ship, and then you go deal with all these other bosses in different buildings and structures that have a lot of layers, a lot of traversal, where you can walk into a door and then boom, it's a whole big place. The Joker in a hotel. So they did that in Origins very well. But the other games were more, open. Batman's out in the night, Arkham Knight, he's just driving all over the place, going underground. I guess they tried to do it, but then the traversal was more Batmobile oriented. So you didn't feel that, boots on the ground type feel that Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Origins gave you. So I guess this is just where I'm going to end the video. I want you guys in the comment section to let me know what you think. Do you think it's going to be open world? Do you think it's going to be semi-open world? Do you think it's going to be dynamic world where, you know, bad guys keep spawning every time things keep happening? Or do you think they're just going to stick with the old model? So let me know what you think in the comment section. We'll probably do that poll on, you know, what people think about, you know, 100% completions very soon, and I'll be able to share the results. Anyways, that's it for me. I'll be out of your hair. Thank you very much for your time and audience. Subscribe for more Batman Arkham commentary. We'll be covering the games hopefully as they come out, as we hear announcements, and I hope to bring the information to you guys as soon as I possibly can. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.